I've lost my faith in the human race. Oh, but I still believe in you. Deliciously nothing. Deliciously nothing. Deliciously nothing.
Welcome to Listening Nothing Show. My name is Mel Fascist Pig, and this is the 420 special.
It's the special.
Real special.
We had a big thing planned out this week, and it shit the bed, and
The runny shits, too.
the runny shit. So we're gonna hang out for just a second, and we're gonna celebrate. First of all, we got some fine ass whiskey brought here by my brother. If you can't tell,
And you brought ribeyes, potato salad, and baked beans, and you can't have none.
I do want some of those damn ribeyes.
I want them some of
So the
this.
show is supposed to be canceled, but Amanda didn't get the memo. So we're going
That's my
live
bad.
just for Amanda, and we're going to air this on 420.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Well, now you just broke the illusion, man.
My bad. You can edit that out.
Yeah.
This
Bleep
is
it.
live right now.
Would you like to do another shot?
Oh yes, I just have it.
Travis, would you like another shot?
Oh, no.
So the first time I ever heard about 420 was probably in like middle school on the bus, where you learn all your terrible things in the world. No matter how much your parents shelter you, if you ride a public school bus, all that time was wasted sheltering them kids. Because you're going to learn everything on the bus, every dirty word. I saw my first Playboy on the bus. I saw my first people having sex on the bus. Like, yeah, blowjobs in the back.
You were back of the bus, kid.
Oh, just like a little kid running up, down. And next thing you know, whoa! I remember finger banging. Dude, this is 420. Anyways,
It's the finger banging episode.
yeah. Anyways,
I was gonna say you were talking about the pizza trick earlier.
so 420,
Oh, the pizza trick. Actually, the pizza trick is really good for the 420.
I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, what's that? And I was like, well, that's the holiday for when everybody smokes weed. And I'm like, where did that come from? Oh, it's because of, it was some sort of code in San Francisco. Whenever they caught somebody with weed, they called it a 420 and blah, blah, blah. That's what I heard. That's it. And I've looked it up since then. Apparently, that's not the history of what.
There's a whole bunch of different like.
You know what I
made-up
mean? Like, it's
meetings
only got
and stuff
urban
like that.
myth now.
The one that they think that most likely happened was from these kids that were getting out of class, and so they would meet up after class at 420. And that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah.
But everyone's kind of got their own little, like, urban local legend. But I don't know, man. For me, man, like I lived in a household. Oh, let's do a shot. Boop, boop. Just 420.
420.
420.
Honor.
I lived in a household where they, smoked a lot of weed. So everything, I was very militant against drugs growing up.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. I was the last one to go out
Really?
on Vice.
I was very
No offense.
militant
That's
against
super
all drugs. But also I was like, caffeine, beer. I mean, everything. Tobacco is a drug. Everything. Like I was militant about
Yeah, it's still a
everything.
supplement.
Were you a rule
Or
follower?
stimulant.
No, there was a point where very early on, at 7, I disassociated with the Catholic Church.
Nothing wrong with that.
Once I kind of got when I started getting into punk rock music, started hanging out with older kids and everything who are also musicians, I started, getting more into politics and everything, and so I fell out of the government authority, everything. There was just something about it where I just like nothing really kind of fit anymore. I remember, the very first time I watched my very first R-rated movie, which is Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams.
Wow.
I got
See,
everything.
that's a good way to
Like
start
nothing
out.
flew over
But you
my
were
fucking
how old
head.
were you?
9.
Oh, wow,
10,
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just like, I don't know.
So you're probably laughing your ass off.
To this day, it's top 5 funniest movie of all time.
Yeah,
Cheech
yeah.
and Chong's
I mean,
Nice
I'll
Dreams.
still laugh at my ass off.
Hamburgers.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
Then he shuts the door.
I'm not sorry.
Mr. Lizard! Monster! All right. So,
Well, it's good to know that Pee Wee Herman came from that. He plays it
But
does
they
the exact
never,
same character.
they never say that. Even in the documentary and everything. What's going on, Carlton?
How you doing?
No, bro, have a seat over here.
No camera's great.
Oh,
No, there's camera.
there's a camera on, but not
can't
there
see
where you're
it over
sitting.
Fantastic.
God, y'all do look alike.
They look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Would you like to sit in just for a second so they can see for context?
Just
Just a second. All right. So, if you ever want to know what I look like black, ladies and gentlemen, ta-da!
Especially with the legs up like that.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm a lady.
Carlton, this is Amanda.
Hello,
Amanda.
a real lady.
And this is Sloan. This is one of my homies.
Hello, Sloan.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Travis. You look well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So my version of the pizza trick is me and this homie over here. We were skipping school at his apartment complex. I was just like, "Hey, we should call I think it was it Pizza Hut or is it Domino's? Because it was right over here at the time. It was Domino's.
By the gas station.
Yeah. And so I called. We were acting like one of us was who was playing the female? Was I playing the female?
Why does it even got to be a female?
No, we were doing a bit. It was a bit. We really even weren't expecting it to work.
Yeah.
So I did it as I guess I was like we didn't get our pizza, blah blah blah, and then he called again later 10 minutes or so that when I called. They said, all right, well, when the pizza guy gets there, tell him to take $3 off. And I was like, fine. So 10 minutes later, I had him call. He called, blah, blah, blah. And when the pizza guy gets there, tell him that it's free. We're like, fine, when the pizza gets there, right? No pizza guys ever supposed to be coming there in the first place, right? So then we wait another 10 minutes, and then I call again. I was like, look, when the pizza guy gets there, tell him that it's free, blah, 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 and let me go ahead. Or no, he goes, let me remake your order. So and he said, don't worry about price, we got you. Blah, blah, blah. So we tell him 2 pizzas and 2 2-liter Cokes, right?
Yeah.
So they bring it. It was like fast too. They was there about like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're like, hurry the fuck up. This guy's been waiting.
We got a knock on the door and everything, and we looked out and everything. And I looked at him and I was like, the fucking pizza.
It's happening.
Yeah, right. So we get the pizza. We're eating and everything. And then fucking like another 15 minutes later, we get a knock on the fucking door, right? And there's a guy, we look at the people, there's a guy standing there with 2 more pizzas and 2 more 2-liters. We're like, holy fucking shit. And we open the fucking door.
Oh, God.
That's my memory of my version of it. Now, if they were doing it before then I didn't know about that.
It was so easy to do it back then.
There was before computers because everything was on a piece of paper. Once they got computers, you couldn't do that shit
Yeah.
anymore.
So it's like, we've already delivered your pizza.
Or no,
you
sir.
never placed an order.
Exactly, yeah. So.
The best at it was the Jerky Boys. Those were the best when they used to make those prank calls to the pizza stores. And it kind of gave you the idea, well, if I could just do that, they'll just send me free pizza. That's not,
That reminds me of this
You know?
one thing where he's got 2 phones. And he calls one Chinese restaurant, he calls another
and
Chinese
they start
restaurant,
arguing.
and then he just sits them down and then like, you call me? No, you call me. I was like, God damn.
Like with Furbies.
How long may I take an order? He was like, God, he just fucking making Chinese beef, like Chinese restaurant beef, man. They're gonna hate each other forever.
Hate your Chinese secrets.
We were doing prank calls and recording them. Radio Shack sold this little suction cup microphone that plugged into your little, remember the shoebox recorders?
Oh yeah.
So I'd plug into the little shoebox recorder and we, go to different people's houses and like look up shit and like call people and everything. And so I called this one Chinese place and everything. And I asked him, what the fuck was it? I asked him something. But I had them on call for about 10, 15 minutes and everything, and they kept going back and forth with each other. And then they finally had to get this white woman in the lobby to get on the phone. So then when I got on the phone, I'm like, damn, I can't remember when I asked them. And that's like the whole fucking thing of the fucking drugs, man. Don't do them. Oh, happy 420.
That reminds me though, in terms of like, because you forget stuff, and I was thinking, in a way, isn't that good? Because that means every like great thing you can experience it for the first time, and it's so exciting, you know?
I feel about that when I like binge watch the X-Files and I've forgotten like
Yeah.
90% of it and I don't watch it for the whole
See, that's
time.
what I'm about to do with Game of Thrones, man. I'm about to go back through. Like I love that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much I might have missed that I would notice now,
Yeah.
you know?
Did you see the newest one about?
I did. I watched the first 4 episodes, and I'm starting to like the characters, the kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, episode 5, they're not kids anymore. I'm like,
Is this the comedy one?
Wait, they even
this is
switched.
House of Dragon.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
Her.
about the other one. The what is it? The Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Something like that.
Oh, that was different. I ain't seen
So
that.
that's within the last few months. I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. That's what was his name? The main character.
I didn't watch
Sir-
it, but I think it's supposed to be kind of like more like Lord of the Rings in terms of like sort of gentler. And,
It's
I never
funny,
saw
but
it.
no, it's gory. No, it's gory.
it is?
Oh yeah. It's pretty good, but no, I'm ready for the House of Dragons to put out another season.
Yeah, I've got to start back up on it because as soon as like I said, when all of a sudden the 2 queens or whatever are now adults, it's like her friend marries her dad and takes her spot, has a kid with her dad to where, but she's supposed to be the heir. So that's like kind of like whoa.
Yeah, but in the
And then her
whole
dad was
did things, though.
and then her dad was the advisor of the king to set it up. Anyways, it's like kind of. You know,
from the
but
first episode, though, of the very first episode of Game of Thrones, it shows you that there's incest in that.
oh god, yeah,
Targaryen.
the Night Slayer is banging his sister.
Yeah,
Like,
so
and then
there's,
that's how Bran gets thrown off the thing and becomes a 3-eyed retard, or
Right.
3-eyed raven.
yeah.
We wonder-
He knows all but tells nobody nothing. You got Jon Snow knows nothing but has to do all.
Right.
Fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
And then he gets fucking banished. He gets banished across the ice wall when he was the rightful king of it all anyway.
Yeah, but what?
Horse shit.
And they left it at that. Like, what the fuck happened? Like,
I know.
his story's over now?
They didn't
No,
tie
they didn't.
the last
They
10 minutes of
finished
Game of
writing
Thrones.
the
I
books.
was
He
like,
hasn't
you
even finished writing the
motherfuckers.
books.
They didn't tie in anything.
You can't
Yeah.
fucking just use your imagination and give us something other than him just walking
What
across
had
the-
happened was they had signed this contract to do the next fucking 3 Star Wars with Disney, so they hurried up and did that shit. Then they ended up backing out of that shit. So it was like, it was all for naught. All for naught.
Yeah.
Fucking horse shit. And I'm not that much big of a nerd, but I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit.
Yeah, well, that's a stoner series. Though.
Yes.
It's the best thing to do is smoke and watch that.
One of my favorite things is whenever, remember the big tall blonde Brie of Terrier or whatever.
Oh, Bria Tarth.
Yeah.
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth. But when he's got the redheaded guy that's with Jon Snow and he's riding on the horses, it's like a meme now too, where he's just looking over smiling at her and she's just like,
Yeah.
because he that's all he's talking about. He's like, that is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. I shall make her my wife. And she doesn't want nothing to do with it,
Nothing.
man.
Yeah.
Not a fucking thing, dude.
Well, she's very pretty in real life, the actress is. But
Yeah,
Oh
she's
yeah,
so-
I was into her too. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not into climbing trees, but I might climb that tree right there. Jesus Christ.
Hey, what you doing on that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe she wouldn't make me climb the whole tree.
So she's an Amazon.
Yeah,
she's
Snook
like
Snook.
that,
Death by Snook Snook. Okay.
yeah.
Death by Snook
So
Snook.
I'm kind of turned on by like a big Amazonian woman, like like Red Sonja or
Wow. What was her name? Bridget Nelson.
Bridget Nielsen.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the one who dated what's the
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We're
Right?
talking about surreal world.
Yeah,
Surreal-
yeah.
what- Surreal world? It's real life?
World, yeah. It's real life. Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the height of MTV when they started not playing videos anymore. They just went to
They wanted to do, I think Jersey Shore really kind of fucking is like,
Yeah.
no the real world.
16.
well, real
Yeah.
world and,
Yeah.
what was
Real
that? Something
rules.
challenge, real rules. Some of the,
Real
they did the
rules, yeah.
challenges and shit.
Man, what's the scariest thing is when we went to Holland, and the very first person we talked to really was in Amsterdam was the fucking taxi driver. And we were like, he was like, where are you guys from? And I was like, oh, we're from the States. He's like, oh yeah, I know all about the States. I watched The Real World. I was like, no!
That is not
No!
the real world.
Yeah.
That is not the real world.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Is it not currently?
Now it is.
Yeah. It's a fucking
After
circus.
years of programming, everybody's done gotten to Kardashian world. They want to have all that drama too. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's our secretary of like something. One of the Trump appointees was on Road Rules.
No
Like a
shit.
contestant.
It shows.
Wow. Yeah, that Kirk lady, dude. You know,
Oh, Eric.
she's got some really deep ties, man. Like her dad's one of them that helped design the fucking Iron Dome for Israel. Like, there's some real bullshit going on. Some real bullshit.
So I didn't know anything.
And then
about
his
it.
daughter Ivanka's married to one of the main chip makers. Is wanting to fucking chip everybody, the RFID chip.
Okay.
Something's really going on, guys.
Yeah, it's been going on for a
Conspiracy.
while.
I don't think. Well, there ain't that many conspiracies left.
Yeah.
They're all starting to turn out to be
But
true.
this is the thing.
Yeah.
We have to tell people that they can't, if they buy into it, especially these last two generations, if they buy into it, then they're going to be able to do it. If we just, and you are seeing a movement where people are like putting away their cell phones, you know, and if they have a cell phone, it's just a flippy phone.
There's a lot of people going to homesteading now, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
they ain't joining the hippie communes, but they're like becoming their own hippie commune. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, just starting out from nothing.
but there's also a lot of people that are, you know, the van life is still a thing.
I
There's a
saw
lot of
that out in
people
the
do it.
desert. There's like
Yeah.
so many of them. They got a whole village going on.
Or just parking at a Walmart or something like that. You'll go to a Walmart and you see RVs, or they just decide to sell their homes, buy an RV, and
and just gypsy that shit.
exactly right.
Dude. Fucking gypsy it.
I have come to the conclusion that all this shit is temporary, so who gives a fuck?
Well,
I mean, I
Next
just really,
stage.
it's just
here's the
temporary.
thing. See, I felt this way up until, you know, 2 years ago, because pretty much at this point, like, everything that we grew up fearing, AI, dinosaurs roaming the earth, I mean, just, you know, aliens, like all this stuff, you know, that we see Terminators now. They're making these robots now, and all out of the box, they're doing kung fu. Why? Why do we need kung fu robots?
I just-
Why?
I need to cut the grass with my
But then,
max.
okay, but then that red light pops on one day, and they're all the red lights
Yeah,
pop on
yeah,
one day,
yeah.
but they know kung fu.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's just one of those things. Like I just don't see why, and it's just buying into the neural net. I don't know why anybody wants to have that chip in their fucking head,
No.
but they're buying into it. It's easier. Well, now I don't have to have my cell phone in my hand anymore. It's just like you don't understand what's actually happening. The fact that no one's fucking anymore. There's no procreation
Yeah.
anymore. People are fucking. Not only that, but it's just completely.
It's transactional.
And well, sex now is transactional. Right now is crazy because I've never seen it as transactional as before. And it's not. They said that 70% of women between 18 and 24 have a sex account of some sort,
What?
whether it's Snapchat,
Sure.
OnlyFans,
Yeah.
or all-out porn.
You know why?
As in that they're producing.
Because these young
That
people
they're
don't want to
producing.
work.
Now it could be
They don't
feet.
want to
Yeah.
fucking work.
Well, it's not only that, but there's no jobs paying for it, and they don't want to buy into the system. With that, I completely agree with.
Like spending money
But
on
they-
a college degree. No.
Exactly, exactly. So I mean, there's like, I understand looking at the game, understanding what the game is, and trying not to be part of that game.
Okay, but you got to think what's that doing socially and economically?
But that's exactly what my point is.
because okay, so they're doing this as
You're looking at 70% of this last generation.
all the
are in
professions are going to
prostitution
shit.
or buying sex.
No, that means there's no doctors getting produced, or a lot less
There's-
attorneys. All these other professions that
I
we
wanna be
need,
influencers.
we're not.
Do you remember
we're
that?
not getting
I think it was
that
the
out of this
very
generation.
first episode of, or maybe the second episode of what's that Netflix show?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, where everybody is a goddamn
yeah.
YouTube celebrity.
Do you rate everybody you meet or whatever?
Exactly right, and then so like I think that's really kind of the way it's going to be, because you're going to be a slave to someone else's entertainment. But then like shit like Blade Runner falls into that too.
Well, the crazy thing is that they get you to want it, and like they get you addicted to it, you know. And they've done research to see what makes people addicted to stuff, and they figured it out, you know. So we can
Still-
say, I know this is terrible for me, but we can't stop
You
doing
can
it.
you still have your free will, and where's Jim Morrison? Break on through to the other side.
So
You know what I mean? You
if
can always
see,
end it in
that's
jiu-jitsu.
if you see the game for what it is, and then try to break. Jim was able to break through to the other side and break out of the game temporarily, and maybe it did for real. Maybe he's one of those dudes that they say fake his death, and then did something else. You have to make so much money to get out and above the game that you have that multi-million-dollar house with the multi-million-dollar water infiltration and the multi-million. You have to be so self-sustaining that once you put that fence up, that's your own state of you, and no one else can come in. And then you have the water filtration and the air filtration and the bunker envelope. That's self-sufficient in this day and age. And if you don't have that, then you're going to be like everybody else. That's when the first 4 hours when the grocery stores are fucked. Because right now, there's no restaurants. All the restaurants are now closing down. And then when we have to depend on just the grocery stores, right now the grocery stores can't even feed the people going to the grocery stores. When the fast food restaurants close down, there's going to be even more depleted. When the end comes, there's going to be nothing left, and everyone's going to be fighting each other, and that's what they want, and they don't give a fuck. Because
They've already done built their bunkers.
They've already got it, and they've already in their own network of who is going to survive this. You are the peasant. You are the peasant. You are the peasant. You are the peasant. You are the peasant.
What's the thing?
Everybody is the peasant.
I don't think that that's true because
If you're well armed and you want to go at it like zombie land.
But this is the bigger picture. United States was here as an experiment. We were set here. Everything here was an experiment to say, hey, will this work? Will this do? And so, but now we are relied on. That's why China don't really want to kill us, because then who would they sell their shit to? We are consumers now. We are what makes this whole world exist. If we fall, countries will take such a big loss that they can't afford
They've
to.
already realigned. If you see now that those countries have already realigned.
And it's the biggest
they're
mistake.
not even using.
They're reverting each other to a brick system.
They're not even
Yes.
using the US
It's about to
dollar
get away from the
anymore.
petrodollar.
Yeah, they're not even using the US dollar anymore.
But it's not a smart thing to do. Not on
for
their part.
them it is, not for us.
No, for them as well, because of the resources that we do have. And we do have South America, and we do have Greenland, and we do have Canada. If we want to come over there and take any of those countries, we are a power.
But again, that's not the route that we should be going.
No,
They've
of
already
course
signed
not,
us. Canada
but-
has signed us off.
Dude,
Yeah.
they're going to do what they want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be
Good.
it's going to be an act of desperation if it winds up going into a war. But this is also a 420 thing where we should be talking about
Oh, yeah.
weed.
Yeah. You know,
So
those
interesting though.
What was your
situations
first- what was-
make me
Yeah.
want to smoke weed.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So, what was your first experience with cannabis?
Mine?
What was the first time you got high?
So, I swiped a bag from family member, and I went out and we were finding just anything to smoke. I think we got a bobby pin and poked holes in a can,
Oh wow.
and then we stuck all the weed on there, and we burnt it up, and just we wasted so much weed. We would cough and it would fly all over the damn place. I mean, we were wasting so much, but it was like nobody got high, and then 5 minutes, it just hit everybody. It was,
But it did eventually hit you.
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when I got high the very first time, I didn't feel anything, and then
I didn't
when
either.
okay, so then later on that night we wound up smoking another joint, and then I got high.
Yeah.
So
Did you smoke cigarettes at the time, or had you
No.
smoked?
No.
I always wonder if, like, because I never smoked cigarettes before, and I thought I wasn't inhaling, and so I wonder if it's because I didn't know how to smoke cigarettes that I didn't know how to smoke weed.
Yeah, I didn't start smoking cigarettes until my 30s.
well, I was very militant against drugs at all. So like when I've like a dude, we were swimming in the pool. It was the summer before my freshman year, and he was just like, "Hey man, you want to get high?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it," you know. Like I'd never gotten high before, and so when he came down, and again he swiped some from his parents. He came down, and we rolled he rolled a pin air, we smoked that, and again I didn't feel anything. And like I took 5 to 8 really good hits. But I don't know, everyone is different. But I'm definitely in that camp of people who didn't get high.
But smoking weed now is way different than when we started smoking weed.
Well, it was
back in
more of a
the
psychedelic when you first started smoking.
Well,
It was
it
just
was
less
fun.
powerful.
No, it was fun because it was like, hey,
Oh yeah, we were smoking Mexican
Brick weed.
ditch
Brick weed,
weed.
yeah.
I didn't know what weed was until my dad always told me, he's like, one of these days, your friend's gonna start smoking weed and just come to me first. And I didn't. I was one of the last ones of my buddies to go, start smoking weed. We think we're getting high. We're cheesing, blah, blah. And my dad notices one day when all my buddies came over, he's like, y'all been smoking weed? And we're like, yes, sir. He's like, okay. He gets up and he walks to his room. Comes out. He's got a little fucking brass pipe.
Oh.
And we smoke it.
Family
Sweet.
moment.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
brass pipe. And we smoke it. That's when we realized what weed was.
Oh,
we got
weed.
real. We got real. We were smoking Mexican, like the Mexican brick weed. It's garbage.
Yeah.
And we thought we were getting high. No, we got high. And I'm like, and then we're like, I don't know if I asked one of my buddies, was like, well, what kind of weed was that, Randy? And he's like, that's white willow.
Yeah, it's always great when you get high with it. Like my stepfather took me and my boy over here for a drive, and it's when cars started first getting surround sound. So we went to ride in the store when he puts in Pink Floyd. Do you remember that Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon? He's
Dick
in,
Laserbeam's like, oh yeah.
he puts in Dark Side of the Moon, and we clam bake in this car. Me, Dick Laserbeam, and my stepfather, man, and we are fucking ripped. And just it was like hearing Dark Side of the Moon for the first time.
Oh yeah, now you really hear it.
Oh, dude,
So I
it's
hear the
insane.
sound.
Yeah.
I can seize it, smells it, and taste it. What about you, Amanda? What's your first experience?
Well, so this dude on the bus, actually on the bus,
Public school?
he said, I can't remember how it came about, but I traded him a lithium for a little bit of weed.
Holy shit.
But the weed was like, it was, about the size of like a raisin, and I didn't know what to smoke it out of, so I put it in this little like tin container and like tried to light it on fire, but it wouldn't even catch fire. So.
Wow.
But the first real time, I guess, was like with a friend in like high school or something. But I also was very judgmental of people for a long time who, drank or did drugs or anything.
The next thing you know, you're no better than them.
At some point, you just
All right, so how old were you?
probably like 16, 17, 18.
That's the age.
17.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I was 13 when I just flipped.
Well, you guys are a little more advanced because you guys had, I don't want to go into details, but you guys had a little more freedom that other people might not have had.
Nepo babies?
we were feral.
yeah.
We were feral.
They were,
He was the good.
you guys were Bebe's kids, if you will.
He was the good brother.
And I was the actual baby's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our little thing to you. We're sorry we didn't have the great big old grandiose show, but that's the way the world works. And speaking of the world, our thoughts and prayers, if that means anything, out to everybody out there. Hopefully by the time you see this, everything is going fucking great. Maybe it's not, but if not, please, we wish you the best. And if so, happy 420.
Maybe Betty White will come back as a zombie.
Ooh,
That is the only reason why I want the zombie apocalypse to
Yeah.
have all these. Like, can you imagine like
Betty White.
Elvis,
Yes.
Betty White, all of them come up like like Zombieland is the one that I want.
Dude, if you had a movie where there was a celebrity graveyard and then the shit hits the fan right next to the graveyard, now that would be the shit.
Get him on
California.
stage in Vegas. Get him on stage.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
perform.
They've
Even
been
Bill
there,
Murray.
half of them.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
He was acting like a zombie and fucking dude
Now
shot
he
his ass.
is. Yeah. Zombieland. Great movie.
Fuck you all, good night.